Hello, hello. I am Tony Purnell, the light worker. This is what I have branded myself as. I'm your homie, I'm your brother, I am your friend. And this is my story. So, for me, I didn't grow up in a house where there was a lot of love. I didn't grow up in a house where my aunt gave hugs and kisses. We knew she loved us, but that wasn't my story. Um, I grew up in a little suburb. I used to live in North Philly. My grandmother passed away. Then we went to Sharon Hill, a little suburb outside of Southwest Philadelphia. I lived there all my life from 7 up until when I became an adult. And I went to high school in the Delaware County, Academy Park High School. And that is where I started, my journey to becoming a light worker. I put my pain into my purpose. You know, Is that like a joke? It must be a joke because I didn't have a coming out experience. Um, I always used to play with the girls and think of the boys. I feel like I don't think I've had a coming out experience. Now everybody knew I was different. Everybody knew I was gay. Um, I don't think I formally had an opportunity to come out. Um, I think everybody just assumed everybody knew. I didn't even. I think I just automatically knew. If I had to say I had a coming out experience, being caught on the phone as a very young child on the party lines, my aunt picking up the phone late at night. What the hell is this? What is going on? Get off my damn phone. And so I've started a social media campaign about 2 years ago. So it's called Enlightened Therapy Services. And I'm a therapist by training. I went to school to be a therapist to help people. So I'm a psychotherapist, licensed and have certifications as well. So Enlightened Therapy Services is my baby. When I talk about being a light worker, being a light saver, not life saver like candies, but a light saver. We need more light in the world. Being a light worker, I am light. That is what I strive to be. That is what I encourage people to be. So I have a nice little following. But my theory is if I can help one person, then I'm really helping the world. Help one person, then I'm doing my job. So you can find me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So that's my social media. I do what we call Motivational Monday. So that's why I give motivation to everybody out there who's willing to take it, or I say doses of light. I do Tony's Tuesday Tidbit. So a lot of people like the tidbit because it's like, okay, well, what does Tony got to say today? And that's kind of like hot topics. That's kind of like drama. And then I do Wisdom Wednesday. So I started with Wisdom Wednesday years ago. I'm like, okay, talk about a specific topic years ago. So that's what started really my social media movement was Wisdom Wednesday. That was the thing that put me on the map. And then we have Tony's Thursday Thoughts. What am I thinking today? I could be driving, I could be sitting in my office. Let me tell you what I'm thinking, y'all. You may not want to know, but I'm going to tell you. I have so much personality, and I want to put that out in the world. And lastly, we have Affirmation Friday. So we talk about positive affirmations that you can live, positive affirmations that you can live by, that you can say. I'm a firm believer that affirmations are a way of life, or should be a way of life, in order to project yourself where you want to be. So when we talk about my social media campaign, it is something for everybody, something every day of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something for everybody. Like I said, Motivational Monday, Tony's Tuesday Tidbit, Wisdom Wednesday, Tony's Thursday Thought, and Affirmation Friday. Now, when I talk about my experience at the first historically black college in the nation, and I mean Lincoln University, I don't mean that Cheney, I don't mean the other one, I mean Lincoln University, the first. It's a lot of historical context. Who was the first? It's a lot of history, a lot of drama, but it's healthy rivalry. So I went to Lincoln a couple years ago, several years ago. I was actually the first black gay Mr. Lincoln University. So, at HBCUs, they don't play a lot of the LGBT culture. They're not invested in the LGBT culture. So when I ran to be Mr. Lincoln University, a lot of people did not want to see me in that position. A lot of people did not want me as the face of the school. So it's like I was unapologetically black, unapologetically gay, and I was smart. So I played my cards right. I said, if I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna be the face of the university. Can I really do this? And at first I didn't believe it, but when I walked across that stage and I won, I said, oh, okay, yeah, I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay. So I built a gay straight alliance at Lincoln. I was the first gay and open. Now, there's a lot of people who ain't open. I was the first openly gay Mr. Lincoln University. I'm not going to get too much into that, but yeah, it's a lot of historical context. I enjoyed going to Lincoln. I had a good time. I was the president of the psychology club. And so if you have not had an experience going to an HBCU, I encourage it. Have something black enlightenment, cultural enrichment in your study. You have to. You get no other knowledge than other from an HBCU. You have to. That's just my experience. So who gets kicked out of school? Who got expelled from school? Me? Middle school? Who gets kicked out of therapy? Me? Yep, I can say that. As a teenager, as a child, therapy is supposed to help you, but who gets kicked out of therapy? You don't think, okay, they supposed to understand you. They supposed to know what's going on. They supposed to, help you move through life. That was not my experience. So I was like, oh, this guy literally, because I was sitting in therapy and I said, the thing I hate most about this room, I said, there is nothing to pick up and throw. He was like, oh, are you threatening me? I was like, well, this is just me expressing myself as a teenager. So getting kicked out of therapy, really propelled me. I wanted to help people from that moment on. I did not necessarily understand myself and what I was going through as far as behavior change. I was horrible. I was a bad child. But I always knew I wanted to help people because I didn't necessarily understand myself. I didn't understand the changes that I was going on. So adolescent development is already hard, right? Growing up being a teenager, going through the changes, puberty, it's already hard. A typical adolescent development. Now pair a mental illness on top of that. Pair trauma on top of that. Pair you living with a substance abuse parents. Can you imagine? Everything in levels and levels and layers. So I think that was one point for me metamorphosing into who I am today. I didn't necessarily understand who I was. So I'm like, okay, if you don't understand me and I don't understand me, then something has got to happen. Something has got to change, especially with black mental health. Especially with black mental health. Oh, so yeah, my grandmother passed away when I was 7, and my aunt raised me. This was my grandmother's sister, and she was a hellraiser. Now, when I talk about religious, we had to go to church every Sunday, Bible study, and she was a devout Christian, and she did not play. So, growing up in her household, a religious household, going to church, and I became a minister in my adult life, and this was several years ago, about 2-3 years ago, and that experience for me, still, you ever been in a place and still not know where you're at? It's like you're surrounded by so many people, but you still feel alone. How can that literally happen to somebody? How can that be? It's like, oh, okay. You move on. You try to do things in life. You try to propel yourself, and you still feel alone. You still got struggles. You still got issues. It's not easy when you grow up in a Christian household, believing one thing, and then you have your heart telling you something else. How can that be? It's like, well, damn, am I living the right life? Or I'm not? Do I go with my heart? Do I go with what I was taught? So I've struggled and I've lived on the cusp of, holding myself accountable, but then the same way, well, hold up. This can't be the same God that I serve. Isn't God love? This can't be him. If I'm criticized and I'm ridiculed about my sexuality and how I view people, this can't be the same God that I was taught growing up. So I had a divide. I was on the fence, and that's part of the reason why I didn't understand myself also. It's like, am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? But I'm helping people. So surely I get some brownie points with that. I love people. Surely God loves me. So I question myself all the time. All the time. Even to this day. You're doing right, you're doing wrong. But I think that comes with radically accepting where you're at in life. I think we need to be in a point of radical acceptance. Not to say anything was right, not to say anything was wrong, but I accept where I'm at this point of my life. And I'm okay with that, despite everything that has happened. Despite people telling me you can't do anything. You ain't gonna be this, you ain't gonna be that. Radical acceptance is a beautiful thing. Okay, so what is it like working with Antar Bush, the Outpour extravaganza extraordinaire? He's a bitch. He's a bitch. But I would say he's a good one. Now, if you're gonna be a bitch, be a good one. Now I mean this because he's a tyrant. He works tirelessly. He works to push you to be your best. Now, granted, he will get you together in a split second. So, me and him has had several, and I mean several, probably more than any other person, like altercations back and forth, like bumping heads. Like, no, you ain't gonna talk to me like this. You ain't gonna do this. I'm not doing nothing. What? You want me to do what? But he pushes you to your greater, to your potential when you may not even see it yourself. So, I mean, I love Antar. We go back years and we will always have a good working relationship. But we fight and we fuss like any other relationship. So, Antar, he is good in my eyes. So, if I could go back in time and tell my younger self a piece of advice, um, oof, I hate these type of questions. If I could tell myself something that I know now, so I'm looking back introspectively, um, I would tell myself, you know what? Give yourself patience. Be patient with growing up. I was in a rush to grow up because I wanted to prove everybody wrong. I wanted to prove, like, yeah, I can do this, and I'm doing it. I don't know why, but life just seems to manifest and work for me. Life just seems to happen for me, and this everything that I touch, this manifests into greatness. So I would go back and tell myself, be patient with your progress. You don't have to be in a rush. It's going to happen naturally because of who you are for people. It happens naturally. So be patient. Be okay with where you're at right now. So I'm Tony Purnell, the light worker, and this is an outpour of my story.